Good evening, all.
Hello.
I'm here, but I'm going to mute myself because I'm still eating dinner.
Multitasking.
Oh, yeah, always.
She's a woman. We're always multitasking.
And that's why you girls go crazy sometimes.
Why we want to hurt the guys.
Jim, how is my audio sounding today?
Terrible.
Terrible.
It sounds hollow and low.
Well, let me see what I can do. Audio settings.
That's getting a
All the
little
tech
better.
people. Oops.
Okay, I'll turn it up. How does that sound?
Still sounds.
Better, but you
You're-
sound scratchy, John.
Well, I'll tell you, I have to fight this every time I start up Zoom. I don't know what's wrong with the audio here.
There you
There you go. Now it's
All
working.
right. It just takes a while, I guess. Hey, thanks for helping me out here.
You're welcome.
John, I think it's the vacuum tubes in your computer. They take a while to warm up.
Yeah, I agree, Jim. Boy, it is pouring down rain here in Delmont. Unbelievable.
I just looked at the radar, and you guys are all you guys up in Greensburg area is about to get nailed.
Yeah, it was. I just came from Youngwood from seeing my mom, and it towards Greensburg was black as. It was really, really black.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
So,
Yeah,
It's yet a little bit of wind.
Up here where I'm at, we lost about 5 stops of light in the last 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. You sure it wasn't more than 5 stops?
About 5.
No, towards Greensburg is more about 10. I got gray skies. It's not like black like it is towards Greensburg. So I mean, I got some wind, but not like.
You guys, I'm gonna be doing a tutorial tonight on composites, and the 2 pictures we're gonna use I uploaded to the chat file or to the chat stream. So if you want to download them to follow along, you can.
Okay. You doing them in Lightroom or Photoshop? Photoshop.
I'm gonna let you answer your own question on that one.
Okay, DL, what am I looking at?
That's a toy I'm building.
Looks like a computer.
No, it's part of it.
So you're going to tell us what your toy is?
What?
Will you tell us what your toy is?
Part of a computer.
Oh, I thought there was more to the story.
Well, technically, I guess there is more to the story, but if you're not into computers, you won't understand.
Okay. Fair enough.
By the way, Brian,
Yes, sir.
that's exactly what you want.
I have issues with wanting a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in that case, I won't tell you the cost on that. It's a little
Probably a good
because of
idea.
some backwards. The pricing got a little bit stupid.
How much is it?
Take a guess.
I have no idea where to even start. It's a for everything I see there, or just for the processor?
Yeah.
Good answer. $3 grand.
Um,
I was thinking more like
Overshot.
5.
technically, you've overshot every single price, but you're close to the video card.
I'm close to the video card
Yeah.
at $3,000.
Yeah. It's actually 2,500.
Wow. Annie, did you talk to Margie? Is she getting on tonight?
She was planning on it. I didn't talk to her today because I went to work earlier. And yesterday she was planning on getting on, but she might be getting her ass hammered with rain at home and probably dealing with a dog if she's got thunder and lightning.
Okay.
Because I'm sure Sky's having a cow and a half.
Alrighty.
Yeah, if we get a thunderstorm here, like I got a warning on my phone that we have a dangerous thunderstorm coming.
Yep.
And if we get that, there will be a shepherd in my lap.
Yeah, Margie's probably dealing with a dog that she's putting a thunder shirt on.
I could use one of those too. Undershirt.
I think you're all going to get some rain.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving from the north to the south.
No.
All I know is every time you see weather like this, I see that scene from Caddyshack where the priest gets struck by lightning.
All right. Well, I guess we could get started. Jim, you got some news and stuff for us?
I can do that, yeah.
Okay. Let's get started with that. And we'll go from there.
All right. And before I go into the items that we normally do on that, just a couple of other items, Brian, to talk about maybe?
Yes, absolutely. I figured you were going to, so I didn't bring it up, but go ahead.
Okay. So I guess it was at our previous SWG Light meeting last week. We started talking about, we have Ann Craybill, who's the executive director of the Westmoreland Museum of American Art, that is scheduled to give us a presentation on her process as a jurist for art shows. And originally, of course, it was going to be live at St. Vincent. That's not going to happen, so I contacted Ann this week to make sure that she was okay giving her presentation to us via Zoom. And she is. She said she's been getting plenty of practice with that, so that's not a problem at all. Part of the discussion last week is whether, in fact, people might be interested in resuming live person-to-person meetings. But for those people who were on the call, it was, I don't know if it was a 50-50 split, but there were enough people there on the call that still felt uncomfortable meeting face-to-face that we've decided to hold off on the person-to-person meetings. But anyway, the good news, Ann will be giving us a presentation. That's the November 9th monthly meeting for the club. Also at that last week's call, when we were talking about the museum, I think it might have been Dennis that showed us something, notice from the Greensburg Arts Center relative to the museum. And via email, I asked Ann whether our club would be eligible, if you will. They host what they call pop-up exhibitions every once in a while. And I think traditionally it's like up and coming artists. It gives them a chance to show some of their work in the museum setting. And she said there's no reason why we wouldn't be eligible for them hosting an event like that. So she put me in contact with the person there at the museum who's responsible for setting that up. And I'm still waiting to hear back from her. But the good news is it's a potential.
Okay, good.
Let's see. And then speaking of getting together person to person, there was a discussion about our fall picnic is currently scheduled for Saturday, September the 12th at Twin Lakes. And because it was outdoors, again, the people who were on the call last week indicated, I think I'm not sure it was unanimous, but I think the majority felt that it was reasonable for us to get together face to face for a picnic. It was suggested perhaps we change the eating arrangements as far as maybe not doing the food sharing among families, but I think that remains to be seen. But I think the important part of it is we are currently scheduled to have that picnic.
Oh, I can't make it. I have to attend my little niece's wedding.
Virtually or real?
Real.
Okay, good.
Up towards the Newcastle area.
Yeah, well, we're going to continue with the picnic plan for that day. And the officers are going to get together and just kind of go over what we want to plan for that. But yes, we are going to have some sort of get together that day for the picnic. So yes, that will happen. And Gaylor, you just like I was just glancing at all the pictures, and your ears both lit up bright blue for a second. I'm like, what in the heck is that? I realized it's your earphones.
Yeah, the reflection.
Yeah, I got a new one. The last meeting, I worked through most of the meeting trying to get them to work, and finally got them to work.
Okay.
But it is kind of distracting when they do blue beep like that in the airport.
He's turning into a Smurf.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Oh, speak for yourself.
All right, Jim. We can have
other items. Couple of others.
Good.
Okay. This is for Marty. Marty wants to tell us that the photo challenge is due the end of the month, which is someday early next week. I forget what day it would
Monday.
be. Monday. And I guess that's it.
Okay, and don't forget don't forget to be working on the scavenger hunt, because that is ending in our next regular meeting, the first meeting there in September. So don't forget about that. Jim and I are going to be putting on a photography flower workshop at Hannistown for Hannistown. At the end of September, I believe it is, right, Jim? The
27th, I think.
27th of September. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we got that going on. We did a workshop up there for them last year, I believe it was, at this point. And they had asked if we could come back and do another one, and all hell broke loose, and the world came to an end, and the sky fell, and so now that the sky seems to be holding itself up and things are getting a little bit better, they've asked us if we could do that, and Jim and I are going to do that. It's going to be a little different than we had originally intended, but we're going to do an outdoor everything. As far as I know, we're also going to try if they've got a place where we can. I think they've got a pavilion there, Jim, that we talked about. If they have electricity, we'll actually do a little photo critique at the end of the workshop, and keep it all outdoors, so we don't have to be indoors and can stay safe with everyone and keep everyone happy. So
Pam Curtin, who not runs Hannistown, but she's one of the program directors there. She's the one that approached us, and she had the idea to include a photo scavenger hunt as part of the photography workshop. So that'll kind of put, I think, a fun component into it.
Mhm.
So keep that, so keep that in mind. We're putting that on. So we're trying to get back out of the community a little bit if we can.
What was that date? I'm sorry.
The
27th?
27th, which is a Sunday.
That way I can add it to the newsletter.
Okay. All right. That's a good recap of everything we got going on right now. Officers, we may just have our quick little meeting tonight right after everyone else is done, right after we're done with the regular meeting about
Okay.
the picnic, since I got, 90% of us are here, 95% of us. I already
Yeah.
figured that out. We're all here but one. So maybe we can do that
Oh,
tonight. And
two,
just get that-
actually.
Who's missing?
Melissa's not here.
Melissa
either.
and Margie.
He's having-
Oh, that's right, Melissa. Where's Melissa been? She's
She's
too
been
busy. She's
Dog
working.
training. Dog training.
Oh, okay. So anyhow, we'll talk about the picnic tonight after the thing and get that worked out and finish how we're going to do that.
Yeah, I tried to call Margie. She did not answer, so she's dealing with dogs. I'll bet you 100.
Okay. All right, Jim, I'll go ahead and move forward if you're ready with whatever it is you want to do.
Okay. Okay, let's get this off the screen. All right, let's see. Can you see my computer screen?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably yours.
Okay. All right. The first,
Definitely.
I'm sorry? We good?
Yeah.
First item on the list is Nikon just came out with their new Z5 mirrorless camera. The 6 and 7 came out last year, and they were, I'll call them professional grade cameras. I'm not sure that's the correct term to use. The Z5 is a little bit more as a serious hobbyist. The price is $1,400 for the body, but I don't know if they've done this before or not, but they're offering a trade-in. It doesn't matter what camera you trade in, they'll give you some type of trade-in deal towards the purchase of the new Z5, which is a full frame mirrorless, I guess I should say, plus a $100 bonus. And that trade-in offer is good through roughly the end of September. So any of you Nikon users who are thinking of going mirrorless, here's an opportunity. Okay. No
Did they do any updates on it so that Brian could use all his lenses?
There's a, can't think of the term, an
Adapter?
adapter, thank you. At least there was an adapter available for the 6 and 7. I assume that would be true for the 5 as well. I don't know
There
that for a fact.
is an adapter available, but the issue is that even using the adapter, some of the autofocus on some of the lenses doesn't work. So the adapter's there, but it isn't a universal adapter. You can, so some of my lenses are a little older. They won't work even with that adapter. It loses the autofocus technology. That was the reason I bought a D850 instead of one of the mirrorless lenses when I did.
There was and I didn't put it on the list for tonight's meeting. I did see a YouTube video. I didn't watch it. I saw that it existed. There's I don't know if he's famous, if you will, but there's a Nikon photographer who's been on YouTube, I guess, for a number of years. His last name is Granger. And apparently he just traded in all of his Nikon stuff. And he's not decided yet. He's planning on going full frame mirrorless, but he hasn't decided on a camera system yet.
Yeah, I saw that video today. It was sort of funny at the beginning where all the other YouTubers were like shocked.
So you watched it, Michael, you're saying?
I watched some of it. The beginning, everyone was a bit surprised that he sold everything.
I got to tell you, and I think most of you know I use a mirrorless camera, though it's not full frame. It's a Fuji APS-C. And I do watch a lot of YouTube videos just in general. And there does seem to be a trend among professional photographers. A lot of them seem to be switching over to the mirrorless systems.
Yeah, I thought about last year whenever I bought my new camera, I checked into the mirrorless system, but it was just going to, Canon didn't have enough lenses yet. And the price was just a little bit too much to go for what I wanted to do. Just gonna cost too much money to switch over.
Of the pros that are switching to mirrorless, how many of them are sponsored by whatever company and getting the stuff for free or cheaper for
I was thinking
promoting?
the same thing.
I'm sure that occurs, yeah.
Oh, it happens a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, here's the camera, and I go out and use it and promote it, and here's lenses that goes with it.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we'll move on. So I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Is it Mikey or Mikey? Mike?
I
Meek?
think it's pronounced Nikon. Except in America, everyone pronounces it as Nikon.
No. I'm sorry, the M-E-I-K-E. Miki?
Oh.
Okay.
Hey, Jim, let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Are you clicking on your links and then trying to show us the links as well?
So I have, I don't know if you can you see the top of my screen here?
All we're seeing right now is your OneNote page.
Oh. Okay, well then you're really at a loss here. To answer your question, I've got my browser screen open. That's what
Okay,
I'm looking
so
at.
are you using two screens or one screen?
Monitor or screen, are you asking me?
Are you using two monitors?
No, just one monitor.
Oh, okay. Well, either you only shared the page or you didn't share the whole monitor.
Okay, let me go back here then and see what I might have done wrong. If I can figure that out.
Margie just tried to call me.
Okay.
It's pouring rain.
Okay, I'm gonna do a new share.
Yep, getting the rain now.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
There we go.
Ooh.
There you
we
go.
go.
Yeah, you got it now.
Oh, okay, all right. Someone should have spoke up. I did not realize that. Okay, so now I understand while Mike didn't understand what I was trying to.
Okay.
Mikey,
If it's-
Mickey, Meek.
if it's German,
Makey.
it's Maike,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's German or Japanese or what.
Yeah.
What's German?
Well, you know what? It's supposed to be a quote cheap lens. I'm going to assume it's not German. How's that?
That might be a
Bobby
good guess.
Manual. Oh, wait.
But
Not
Oh,
much
autofocus.
of German is cheap.
the reason I brought this up is that it's so for Canon it's 170 and for Nikon it's 190, but for a 1.8 lens, and as it shows in the title here, it's apparently has autofocus capability with those cameras as well.
Crap.
So for less than $200, and again, the article itself goes on to say they're not quite sure whether it's a well-constructed lens or not. But if anyone's interested, it's available. Next one is anybody using Paint Shop, Corel's Paint Shop for their post-processing?
No.
No.
Okay.
I
No.
think I have like a light version of it somewhere.
I don't use it either, but I saw this. I thought if anybody was using it, I would at least mention it. They're coming up with an upgraded version that has some, some AI capabilities in it that they're bragging about. But it's really a cheap program. It was, I think it's like $80 or something. So I just thought I'd mention it. Okay, so that's about it as far as camera news. I didn't really see anything else this month that I thought was worth mentioning. But before we leave camera news, maybe I should ask the group, does anybody have any specific camera related gear items they want to talk about or ask questions about or whatever?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so I've got a few sites here with photography awards. It's always kind of fun to look at some of the photographs that are winning both national and international awards. This one is Australia's photography awards. Just go through one by one. Anybody has any comments, feel free to speak up.
No overlap between the rope and the head.
Mm.
Yeah. And Brian, your famous edge patrol, does the girl's half of a head bother you at all over there in the right-hand edge?
No, because it kind of gives a little bit of a end to the rope.
Yeah.
You know who has the rope now.
Somebody's holding, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. There's no descriptions on these. I assume this is a whale coming up from the ocean.
Looks like
There's
two of them. There's two tails.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
baby underneath there.
oh, I hadn't noticed that. I bet you're right. Yeah.
That's
Is that
pretty.
is that a whale or a dolphin?
I couldn't tell you.
Not a dolphin. The nose isn't big enough, long enough.
Yeah, there's nothing to scale it.
Yeah, that's neat.
Well, and obviously what's interesting is without the bubbles, the photo doesn't really do anything for you. That just
Yeah.
Yeah.
really accents it.
Cool.
So I like the framing on this one.
Yeah.
And I hadn't noticed this before, but it looks like they're exchanging a piece of chalk here.
Yep.
And this student's going up to the chalkboard. So I assume it's a
That's cool.
classroom setting of some sort.
Teacher, student at the board, and another one going up.
That's cool.
Not you. Stay.
Lots of Karens. See, my problem is that if I had taken that photo, I would have trashed it because I figured it was like, I just screwed up. I moved the camera while I took the photo.
No, they definitely moved the camera.
Yeah. Not sure.
I would have just titled it Earthquake.
Good one,
Hi,
Gaylor.
Nate.
Hi.
How you doing, bud?
Good.
Good.
That's a nice portrait.
Beautiful lighting on her skin.
Yeah. some type of an escalator somewhere. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be an escalator. It could just be a set of stairs.
One's
Yeah.
going into purgatory, the other side's going into hell.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Okay.
Goods and
Is that the
services.
stock board or?
It's interesting that the thing that's in red says suicide.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
is that a computer screen that somebody took a picture of, or what the heck is it?
Don't know.
DL, is that code?
Something.
That's kind of cute.
Uh-huh. She got her beer in her hand, 3 more sitting on the kegs, and 3 kegs.
Yeah.
She's a happy lady. No wonder she's laughing. She's gonna party. Like the ostrich on the sign.
The ostrich got some alcohol too.
Yep.
Yeah, she's trying to kill that virus with beer.
Hey, there's a 4th keg right behind her too.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
Uh,
that's probably the
Oh,
one
right
she's
here.
working on.
yeah,
Yep.
she's almost sitting on it.
Yep.
Happy lady.
Hmm. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
And here's some student category. There's a nice minimalist.
Boy, is it ever.
Okay, I'm not sure about this one.
I don't know, but it would fit into our category stranger's feet or shoes.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was the idea, just shoes at different locations?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
It's the same set of shoes the whole way through.
it looks like it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some rationale to the color scheme from red on the left to black on the right.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is.
That's funny, Dennis. I didn't notice that.
I did. And then there's words in there too.
Yeah.
The stand, load, head. Trying to see what it says. I don't know.
Okay, that's the end of that one.
Neat.
So this next one is thanks to Beth. She gave me this link. This is weather photography.
Oh,
And this is actually an ongoing contest. So let's see.
we've got plenty of weather today.
You can vote now, if you will, if you want on these. I forget when the votes are due. I don't see it here.
25th of September.
Oh, there we go, September the 25th. So as far as the site, let's see, the address here starts photocrowd.com. Photo competitions. I guess if you do weather photographer of the year 2020, it'd probably be an easier way to get the link. But there's some cool photos here. Don't know my animal tracks, but that's something. Because this is an open competition, there's no information provided for the photos. So can't tell you the wheres or what's. I assume this is a river or stream valley here.
Mm-hmm.
Clouds are hugging inside.
That's nice. I like it.
Beautiful lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the shadows in light stream coming down through the trees here. That was just like perfect timing.
Yeah, that's the sun coming in. Hi, Margie.
Hi.
Hi, Margie.
Hi.
Dog's okay?
What?
Puppy's okay?
They are, it's calmed down, so they are now.
Hi,
Our
Margie.
Scotty has calmed down a little bit. She's hiding.
Hi, Margie.
Hi.
So I'm not sure what this is.
It's a halo.
Around,
It's a sunrise or sunset, most likely a sunrise.
oh, this is clouds
fall.
back here. I thought this was more mountains. Okay.
No,
that
those are
makes more
clouds.
sense. Thank you, Brian.
I'm on point tonight with picking out what's going on in these pictures.
You're doing good.
That's what an hour and a half of sleep last night does for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then explain this weather phenomena for me.
Those are clouds.
I don't know the name of it, but it is a weather phenomenon.
Those are
There's a
clouds.
name for that. I actually just seen something like that the other day. I was watching a video and they were explaining it, and I cannot remember for the life of me what the name of that is, but there's a name for that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures and they've had a name for it too, but I don't remember what it is either.
This photo would be cool without the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's even cooler with the lightning.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well, just out of curiosity, I remember, this probably goes back a few years ago, Paul Valerio mentioning, I'm not sure he had one or he was going to get one, but apparently there's a device you can put on your camera that's sound sensitive or light sensitive.
Yeah, Paul was talking about that.
Yeah.
This, I assume they use something like that in order to be able to time that just perfectly.
Well, you can do it either way. Those things are really nice. They cost about $150 for one of those. There's a couple of different ones out there. As I sit here and think, I'll try to come up with the name of the one I know for sure. But just if you're doing a timed exposure during a lightning storm, you'll catch those like that. That's how I've caught them in the past.
Yeah.
But the little device makes it a lot simpler.
Safer too if you do the time exposure, because you can go into your car and sit while it's doing it.
There's the frozen trees. So Margie, now that you're on the call, is this real or did they do your trick on this photo?
They probably had a little bit of my trick in there. But they had enough of it to start with.
Yeah, because you can see kind of through the background on either side, just barely. And it goes off to nothing.
There's an animal or something right in the middle of those trees. Right. Over to your right. Right there.
I can't
I
tell.
don't think it's an animal.
I can't.
No.
I don't
You
think
just double click on it.
I can't. I don't think I can expand this.
Yeah, there's something right there.
Okay, if you say so. I can't argue. That almost doesn't look real. Do you think that's a composite?
I'd have to look at it closer.
Depends on what the rules for the contest were too.
Yeah.
Looks like it might have been in Iceland.
Wait, is that an Icelandic horse?
That's what it looks like. They have a lot that look like that.
Yeah.
No.
Just out of curiosity, does everybody have the option to the right on my screen of Murphy's, where it says Murphy's screen? You are viewing Jim Murphy's screen. To the right of it, it says view options with a pull down. And if you pull that down, well, sometimes when I pull it down, maybe I can't be talking.
It says fit to window.
If I pull it down, I can. I can get a zoom ratio, and then I
Sit up here.
Oh,
Control the size.
And his voice cuts out.
It says new.
Uh-oh. Best butter baby.
unmute.
There's
Okay,
Thunder.
if I go to view options, zoom ratio, and anything above 100%, it lets me move the picture around, and I can zoom up to 300%.
Wow.
Kind of cool. I was just kind of playing around and found that. I really like being able to do that.
oh yeah.
Wow.
That's one nasty tornado.
It's a double rainbow.
Yep.
The pot of gold is on top of that rock.
No, it's on top of the first rock.
10 years.
There must be two of them.
I'm not sure I know what this is.
Underwater, some kind of,
Maybe at the top of a building, looking down through the clouds. In Dubai. Oh, is that cool?
It's amazing how the colors come through the ice.
That is so cool.
You get some TV talk.
And there's some more lightning.
Somebody's watching TV.
How many?
Oh, that must have been Gail. He just muted himself.
That's some cool lightning.
Okay, I've never seen a cloud formation like that before.
I've seen one similar to it, but not that color.
Yeah.
I've seen them when they're dark, dark.
There actually is a name for that.
Yeah.
And I have seen it one evening when we were in Nebraska and just stand and looked at it.
Yeah,
It is
pink like that.
The horizontal
almost
lightning
scary.
too.
Yeah.
Was it pink like that, Gaylor?
No, I think that's purely the sunset.
Okay, because I've seen one like that in Texas, but it was dark. Shades of gray.
Is there a lightning bolt down at the bottom by the trees?
Yes.
Yeah, horizontal. Horizontal lightning, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Margie,
Yes.
we're in Texas. Were the clouds larger?
You know that's true.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Well, wait. Is that a Texas flag back here in the background along that road?
No. No, you know this is not taken in Texas because you'd have like 10 flags going up the street.
Now, you know, not only that, but there's a curve in that road. The roads in Texas are straight.
Oh,
Right. That's right.
all right.
I've been there a few times.
Sorry, Margie, I couldn't help myself.
That's okay. That's okay.
Me either. That's cool.
There's a lot going on in this. It's really cool. I love the plants backlit like this too. It looks really cool.
The one in the front looks like it's raising its hands.
Yeah, here.
And he's got his hands in the air and a leg in the air.
Mhm.
He's singing the song, Hallelujah.
It looks like.
Is this contest in England?
It's Australia. I'm sorry. No. Oh, I'm getting back to the last group of photos.
think it is English.
Yeah, because of the spelling.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying, the favorite.
Is
Uh-huh.
it the Royal Photographic Society, I think.
That sounds like it would be British, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is.
It-
They're kind of like the Brit version of PSA.
Is that a haboob?
Ooh.
Sure looks like it.
A
Is that
what?
Sandstorm?
It's Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
I've never seen a
Haboob.
Yeah.
That looks like a sandstorm.
Just
That's
her boob.
that's crazy.
I've never seen a pink one though.
Well, I assume I guess there still could be sand in the air up there, but I think this is more the clouds you're looking at rather than the sand. I don't know.
No, the
Now the sand's in the bottom half.
This is sand and this is probably sand. Or
It
may or
still
may not.
could be. It still could be all cloud too. Just a fog line coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily sand, but it could be.
Could be.
Here's how matter works. Answer a few quick questions and get your personalized quote. If you're eligible, we'll cover you.
Ooh.
Ew.
That's nasty.
Just
Looking.
get out that ladderlife.com.
I don't think I want
Yeah.
to be taking this photo.
Be taking that photo and running.
No, if you know which way it's going, you're okay.
Yeah. It's coming towards me. I'm out of there.
It'd be too late.
Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas.
I love running through those when I was a kid.
Is it a dust devil? Is that what you call them?
Yeah. That's one of the words, they call it.
You would run through it?
Yes,
Why?
because it was fun.
If you look at that one's a little bit stronger than just a fun one because it's got the
Yeah, I
tip
don't
in
think
the
that
air.
one would be too much fun getting pelted with that dirt.
They are. You
Hey,
just
guys.
shut your eyes and run.
Guys, who has the TV playing in the background? Because it's really distracting.
Not me.
Not me.
Okay.
Not it.
But if you look at that picture, that tent's up in the air.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a little stronger than the ones you might have been running through when you were a kid there, Mark.
No, we had some strong ones. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, you can't.
Especially down in Arizona. Boy, we had some nice ones.
You can't see whether this guy is trying to hold a rope or not, but his body position looks like he's holding onto a rope to try to keep the tent down.
Yeah, and there's a guy sitting on the ground underneath that tent too. I don't know if he's trying to hold that tent down or what.
I think he's praying.
I had to
I think
but
I would be too. He's praying that he doesn't get blow away with the tent.
Okay, and Brian, I just noticed this, but going back to your favorite passion, Edge Patrol, this one's unnecessary.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, spaceship cloud.
Yes, it is.
That's neat.
Those are cool.
there's a spaceship inside there.
Oh.
That's how they hide themselves when they're down here and we can't tell. We think,
That's
wow.
right.
Incognito in the cloud.
Yep.
That is a lenticular cloud.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's a spaceship.
Some of them built up when I was playing golf by Donegal? No. Way east on the turnpike. Strange looking.
Yeah, really. And this looks like a tent lit up with a lantern inside. And there's a cross. I don't know if that's like the summit of the mountain, maybe. Someone had worked it across.
Probably.
So it looks like. That's neat.
Nice.
Yeah, fun storm.
Yeah, nothing to look forward to.
How dry that ground is. really nice pattern now.
Yep.
That'd be like going outside today and taking a picture.
Mm,
Oh, that's cool.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what you get to see if you're up before sunrise.
Wow,
Yeah, I know.
that is nice.
I try not to do that.
That's because she's been up all night as it is.
This is true.
I looked at this one before. I'm not quite sure the background. Whether it is it water that's like falling on a wall, if you will, or is it just a painting?
Oh, I'm sure. It almost looks like a mural.
You got a seam in there. So I don't know.
I'd say it's
You got
water.
two seams.
It's water running over a dam.
Mm, could be.
Well, he does look like he's getting a little bit drenched.
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to protect his face from it. It's neat no matter how what you think it is.
This reminds me of something though. And Pat would attest to this. In the past, if I was in this scene, I would have waited for there to be nobody on that bridge because I wanted to picture the bridge and whatever that background is. But I think I have since learned it's really interesting to include a person somewhere,
Yes.
just for scale or just something to stand out within the photo. And this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, because the guy has the red jacket on, it really stands out. Oh, that's a snowy buffalo.
So hopefully that was a long zoom lens.
Yeah.
He looks like a demon with that teeth. I guess those are his teeth without. Yeah.
That's snow.
Yeah.
That's his nose there.
But I said it looks like teeth.
Yep.
And the way his horns and the slanty eyes, he looks like a demon.
Yep, he does.
Yep. Long lens.
Yeah.
Really long lens.
Okay, Gaylor, you know your meteorological effects. What's this one?
Another spaceship.
Eyeball.
Dog.
That's a telescope from the aliens looking at us.
And I gave my halo.
You're cloaking.
Well, hey, Beth, thanks for sending that. There were some really interesting photos in that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay, I'm going to skip this next one. This was some more best photos. This was architectural shots. We'll just skip through that one.
Why?
Enough. So I don't know if anybody here would be able to talk about this subject. I know I'm not capable, but I'll just introduce the subject. Apparently, Adobe is coming out with a method so that you can set your metadata where it can't be altered in order to improve well, they're using the term authenticity if your photo would be attempted to be used somewhere else. And it's not available yet. It's under development. And I think, good, there's a 3-minute video with this. How about if I play that and then we can maybe talk about it afterwards?
Sounds good.
I want to take a step back and talk just for a few minutes about the world we're living in and a new exciting initiative.
Can you turn it up?
Biggest and most
You'll turn your own monitor up. Can you not hear it?
Whether an image.
When you share.
Okay, hold on.
When you share the screen, Jim, down at the bottom of the share part, there's a thing that says, use or share the computer audio as well. If you have to end your share and start it over, that's okay. Just
there's more.
When you hit the share screen at the bottom, there's a couple options. One of them is share
Wait, here it
computer
is.
audio.
Share computer sound.
Yep.
Okay. Whoop. Pretty good.
I want to take a step back
Does that work?
and
Yeah.
talk just for a few minutes
Yeah.
about the world we're living in and a new exciting initiative. So one of the biggest and most heavily covered issues today is content authenticity and trust. How do we discern whether an image or video is real and how it has been edited? In short, can we trust what we see? And there is no perfect solution for this issue. I mean, Adobe can't solve the problem alone. Addressing it will require action from a broad set of technology companies and content publishers, like news sites and, of course, social networks. And, of course, all of us. I mean, the viewers of this content have a responsibility as well. But today, we have an exciting announcement to share. In combination with Twitter and the New York Times, we're announcing the Content Authenticity Initiative. Together, we're developing an industry-wide standard to allow creators to put their mark on their work and have that attribution accompany that piece of content across different platforms, posts, and stories. Here's a sample of how a system might look in Photoshop. If you choose to opt in, the system can record what you do to a piece of work, what edits you make to an image, and what effects you apply. And then people who come across it on a website like Behance or another platform can easily view the information about who created it, where the image or video came from, and how it was edited. And that way, you have the information as a viewer to judge the trustworthiness of the content, and content creators can be assured of getting credit for their work. Of course, we know that not everyone will share attribution data, but we believe that a lot of creators will be happy to provide this information, and over time, consumers will come to expect content to come with attribution. There is still a lot to figure out about the technical details and what will make the system most effective, but this is an issue that we are committed to addressing. We will be kicking off this initiative with a technical summit with relevant industry stakeholders in the coming months, and you can go to the URL above to learn more and join the conversation. But our goals here are really pretty simple. We want to ensure that you get credit for your work. We want to help everyone evaluate the authenticity of the content that they see. It will be a long journey, but we are getting started now. I wanted to share that with you.
Okay. So, any thoughts?
Me?
It'll be interesting to see where it goes and how long it takes to get there.
But is that gonna, is that software gonna help keep people from having their photos hijacked?
Probably not.
It's
There's
not going
always
to
a way to strip the
stop.
metadata.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
gonna
it's
keep somebody from changing the metadata.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea that at least they're trying something, and for multiple reasons too, so that you can, like he said, trust what you're seeing on a website, and so that people can't do anything fraudulent with a photo too.
Mhm.
So I think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be useful for crime scene photography because that's one of the reasons that they're not all jurisdictions are happy about digital photos from crime scenes. Because like with film, you've got the negative that you can hold up if you have to. But with digital, it's not as easy to show somebody in court, yes, this is as it really was.
Be useful. Well, and then your metadata would match, you know, the time that you took the photo, and if it can't be changed, then that would authenticate, you know, the crime scene photos for them.
Real quick, I'll be back at like 9:30 max.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so this next one for you Canon users,
Okay.
whether anyone's interested in this, if you have a camera that has Wi-Fi capability,
Yep.
apparently you can now send or set up an auto backup of photos from your camera to whatever device your Wi-Fi connected to, and then upload it to Google Photos.
Well, it's about time they caught up with Nikon.
Yeah.
Oh, has Nikon been able to do
I
that?
was waiting for some kind of a smart ass remark from Brian about
They've been doing
it.
They've been doing that for a couple of years now.
Oh, okay, all right. And
I
this,
think that was an old post too.
what do you mean?
I think it said 2010. Okay. What's that say? What's the date on that?
August 26, 2020.
2020. Well, I couldn't read the last number.
You better go get your eyes checked.
This
Nice
next one,
try, Annie.
this next one we're not going to watch, but for those who are interested in astrophotography and post-processing, this apparently was just made available for free on YouTube. It's about an hour, I think it's a little over an hour, it's an hour and 40-minute video that talks about the how to do astrophotography. So it's 2016 Lonely Speck Astrophotography, if you just want to do a search on it the next time you're interested. And Brian, that's the end of me.
All right, hang on one second there, Jim. Go up to the or the search thing here.
Here?
No.
No.
In Petapix.
Oh, this search?
Yeah. Type in Lightroom.
That's it?
Yep, search. The one right there says Lightroom app update.
Here?
Yeah, click on that. This is, DL sent this to me. I don't know if anyone uses Lightroom on an iPhone or an iPad. There was an update a few days ago, and if you do that update, it wipes out all of your photos that are on your iPad or iPhone, all of your presets and anything like that. It erases them and deletes them forever. You cannot get them back.
Yikes.
If you scroll down through there, that was, it gives you an update. They've already released a new version of it that fixes the problem. So it is, I think, 5.41 or something like that when we get down through there. Yeah, there it is. Version 5.41 has already been released and it fixes that. So if you do an update, make sure you're updating to 5.41 on your iPad or iPhone if you're using Lightroom there. It doesn't seem to affect, I didn't read anywhere where it affects anything other than iPhone and iPad. It doesn't affect Android, and it doesn't affect anything for computers and that stuff, just the iPhone and the iPad.
So this is if you update your phone
Your
Lightroom.
app, yeah, your Lightroom app on either iPhone or iPad.
Okay.
Make sure you're updating to version 5.4.1. Do not update to 5.4.
Good warning.
Okay. I
Okay.
figured since you had Petapixel open, I'd have you just pull that up.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm going to stop share.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jim.
Sure.
All right.
Jim.
If you guys check in the chat, I uploaded 2 photos there. If you didn't hear that yet, those are the photos I'm going to use in my tutorial. We were scheduled to give a tutorial on doing a composite. I know there's 10,000 ways to do a composite in Photoshop. I'm going to show you one that's several steps, but not too complicated that I watched a few videos that were so complicated that by the time I got in about 4 minutes into the video, I went, no, ain't happening. So this one wasn't too bad. I thought it was pretty neat. And it comes up with a pretty neat composite when you're done. And it just gives you some ideas of how you can do things. And like I said, there's 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 different ways of doing this. This is just one way of doing it. Using Photoshop, and we're going to use 2 photos. So let me get my stuff set up so I can share my screen. Let's see where Photoshop's on the wrong screen. Let me put it over there. Over there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to share my screen here, and you guys should see Photoshop in 3, 2, 1 now. You guys see Photoshop?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to start out, maybe, oh yeah, there we go. Start out just by opening up the files, or a file to start with, open. And road is going to be the background. That's going to be the file that we open first. I'm going to open that. And there's our road picture. I pre-worked on this picture. The picture itself didn't have enough sky to it. And in the original tutorial, it talks about adding sky to it, and that I already did that for the one that I uploaded to you. So if you want to see that done, I can do that later. But basically, I just increased the length of the photo by a little bit and added some extra sky to it. Okay, so what we're going to do, actually, let me open up a finished version of this so you see what we're getting to. So this is what we're going to end up with. The girl swimming in the pavement.
Okay.
I just liked it. I thought it was pretty neat. It's interesting how it works out, and it has several things throughout that we have to work on to make it happen. So we're going to start out with a pavement picture, which we just opened up. And in this case, one of the first things we're going to do, which is not something I normally do, but I'm going to unlock the background and make that a background layer. And just by clicking the little box, somebody's calling Annie. We get a layer 0. So that's going to be our bottom layer. We're going to work above and below that layer as we go along. So we'll start out with that. We got our layer there. The next thing we're going to do is put our girl in the picture. And we're going to do that a way that I've never done before. This was a new step for me. So we're going to go under File, and we're going to do Place, Embedded. And we're going to pick our girl, which is the swimmer, and we're going to tell it to place it. Come on, Photoshop. and it places it in here and it allows us to make adjustments to it. Now, the hard part is you can't really tell where it is or where it's going to be in the picture and where it's going to be lined up at. So if you just take the opacity of that layer and drop it down so you can see through it while we're making adjustments, that way you can get it where you kind of want. And this is already in a transform mode. So if you hold your shift key down and grab one of the corners, you can adjust the size of it. So let's get her up to some sort of normal size here. And not that any of this is really normal, but we'll start out with her about there. And just going to go up and click the check mark, or if you double click inside the box, it would do the same thing. That puts her on there, and we're going to take that opacity back up to 100% for what we're doing next. So that gets our girl on top of the picture of the road. The next thing is we got to do a selection of her. And this is a simple selection. We're not going to get too excited about it. We don't need to. So I'm just going to go up and do a quick select. And let's just make it a little bit bigger so we can see her. And we're just going to do a quick select of her. Something like that. And let's take that little bit out of there. That's this button. Nope, not that button. This button. Got a little bit too much here. We don't need that. So it's not perfect, but that pretty much covers what we needed to do. And in this case, it doesn't need to be a perfect selection for this particular program. And once we've done that, we're just going to do what's called a layer mask. So I'm going to go over here, and it's the, I always call it the Japanese symbol in the layer panel. And now we have her in the picture. We removed all the other stuff, and we have a mask around her.
Brian, can I interrupt for a second?
Yes.
When you showed us the final photo, there was some water around her. Is that an extra step, or should you select the water at this point as well?
No, we're going to put it in here next.
Okay.
So it's an extra step, just a different direction of doing it.
Gotcha.
So we're going to grab, at this point, we're going to put the water in.
That's a good lead in, huh?
The next step. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for the lead. So we're just going to grab a brush tool. In our brush tool, we need to make sure that we are hardness of 0 and opacity of 100% for this particular project. All right, so we got a 0 or hardness of 0, opacity of 100. We need black and white over here. Anyone tell me which one does which?
Black hides it, white shows it.
There you go. So we need white because we're going to show water. And we're just going to go in here with our brush and brush in some water. Not all of it at one time, just some of it right now. And actually, I think I'll take a little bit of, or I'll switch colors and take a little bit of this out back here and a little bit of that out here. So we just added some water right around her and in front of her. So after we've done that, we're going to duplicate that particular layer. So we're going to make sure that that layer is highlighted, which it is. That's the swimmer. We're just going to duplicate that layer with a controller command J. And now we have a copy of that. We're going to make sure we're on the first one, the original one, so the swimmer, not swimmer copy. And once we do that, we're going to, let me find where I'm at in my notes here. Let's go ahead and just rename this so I know what it is going to be later. And we're going to rename that swimmer hard light. Because we're going to do something with hard light in that particular layer there. And that is actually what we're going to do right now, which we're going to change the blend mode on that particular layer to hard light. So click on the blend modes here, go down and find hard light, which is that one. We're going to click that on. We're going to select the layer mask. So you see how the little white corners go from place to place. We're selecting the layer mask on that. And we're going to go right back in with our brush and brush in a little bit more on the outside edges there now. Oop, brush, white. We're just going to go ahead and add some of that extra in out there now. Like that. It don't have to be, I'm obviously not making it perfect for this particular thing. So once we do that, I'm going to go ahead and just change the opacity of that particular layer to about 65%. Get that area 65%, just kind of back that off a little bit. All right, so the next issue that we have obviously is that the water is the wrong color. It doesn't match the road, and we kind of want it to kind of match the road to make it look like the road has actually got water in it. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our two layers, this layer and this layer. We can do a control click and get both of them. And if you do a controller command in the letter G or right click and find group, we're just going to group those two together and make a group out of them. That way we can work on those layers together at one time. Now we're going to add an adjustment layer to that. And the adjustment layer we're going to add is a hue and saturation. So down here is the little half color thing. That is adjustment layers. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to hue and saturation. All right. So with hue and saturation, we're going to do, we're going to make this a clipping. We're going to turn clipping on, which is this button here, little square with the arrow going down. So we're telling it to only work on what's right below there and not bother the bottom layer is what clipping does. It clips it to the layer directly below it. And that way you can only work, you only have to work on that particular layer. And in here, we're going to go up here where it says master, we're going to go down to cyan. And we're going to take all the saturation out of the cyan. And then we're going to go into blues just in case there's anything in there that was blue and not cyan, and take all that saturation out. And if you look, now our water kind of matches our road. It's black now. We can close that, and we're done with that one. So in reality, we could stop there, but we have some issues. One being is that we have some yellow in her face that doesn't match any of the lighting in the rest of the picture. So we need to fix that as an issue coming in as we're going along. And the other thing is I think the background kind of doesn't really, it distracts from her being in the asphalt. So we're going to fix the background first. And how we're going to do that is we're going to select layer 0. And that is our whole background that we're working with at this point. We're going to right click and we're going to convert that to a smart object. That turns that into a smart object. And then we're going to go right from there. We're going to go straight up to filter.
Hey, Brian, I'm sorry. I don't want to get you off here, but could you take a brief second? Because I've seen or heard this term smart object before. Could you explain just in general what its intent is or what it does? Or
no, because I don't know.
Okay.
Margie, do you know? Margie is silent, so you might be yelling at the dogs. I don't know. Does anyone else can step in and say, I haven't studied smart objects yet to understand them enough to answer that question, Jim. I'll put it that way.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, but we will be getting to that in our Photoshop tutorials. So anyhow, we made that a smart object, and then we went up to filter, and we're going to blur, and we're going to go to the wonderful Gaussian blur, which we use in like nearly every freaking thing we ever do in Photoshop anymore. And we're going to put that somewhere between 5 and 6. I kind of like just the way that is right there at 5.2. It just happens to be what it was when I did this earlier. It really blurs that background out pretty nice. I like that. And we're just going to click OK on that. Now we're going to click on the Smart Filter Layer Mask, which is the white box right here. So we got highlights there. So we're working on just that layer mask. And what we're going to do is get rid of this blurring in the foreground, that way, in the foreground rather. That way, that's in focus. This is in focus, and then it goes out of focus as it goes back through. Where am I at? I lost my spot. Okay. And we're going to do that just by brushing stuff away. And again, Mike, what was it? Which one hides and which one doesn't?
Black hides.
Black hides. So we want to get rid of that. We're going to put that on black and just sharpen this all up again up here. So you kind of see how our focus goes back through there a little bit. And I know it's not 100% perfect, but a little bit there. You see how we was able to do that? We took the, we blurred everything and then went back to our stuff that's in focus. So kind of like Margie was using the history brush in our last talk as well. Okay, so we've done that. And the next thing is to work on some lighting. We got to get some light. We got to figure out how to get that the light on her face to kind of work with the rest of the thing. That's what's going on here. So again, I'm going to click on layer 0. And we're going to right click on that. And then we're going to go to blending options, which is the top thing in the list there. So blending options are going to come up. Oh, they came up on the right screen too. Okay. And we're going to go to gradient overlay. And we're adding a gradient overlay over top of that. And you kind of notice how it went from light on one side to darker on the other side. So we're working towards that light pattern to match her face at this point. And the way we did that was we did a blend mode of soft light. We did an opacity of around 40%, and this sticks to what it was before. So if you don't have this in your thing, this is what we're looking for. Soft light, opacity of 40%. In the gradient, we're picking a basic, and it's under basic. It's the black to white. So it's this one here for basic. And it should say name black and white. So that's already in there at this point. We're going to go linear. The angle was 180 degrees. So we want it to come from left to right. And scale doesn't really matter. It's 108, 100. It don't, that's fine either way there. And we're just going to click OK on it. So if you notice how that got that little bit of darkness over here. All right. So now we have to add light to get what we're looking for. So if we go up here and I lost my mouse. We're going to click on the hue and saturation layer that we put in there earlier. We're going to click on that, and we're going to add a new layer which will pop up above that. So the new layer is the square with a plus inside of it. Create new layer. It puts that layer on top of there. And we're going to fill that layer with all black. We're going to make that layer completely black. So we need a paint bucket, and we talked about this because I'm using the photography thing, photography workspace. The paint bucket isn't in the tools like it normally is, but if we come down here and click on this, it's an option inside that whole group, and it's already selected there. So I have the paint bucket available to me. It is black in my foreground color there, and I'm just going to dump that on the layer and turn that 100% black. Everybody following along so far? All right. Okay, so what we want is to add some light to this. So I'm going to go up to filter, and we're going to come down to render, and we're going to add a lens flare. Now in the lens flares, we're going to leave the brightness at 100%. And on here, you see there's several different choices of different types of lens flares. What you want to do, we're going to work with the 105 prime. It gives us a nice lens flare. And if yours is weird like that, so it's showing all these different things, we're just going to bring this down to the middle, so everything's kind of right in the middle. Because what we're looking for is kind of basically a straight dot of lens flare that's going to come towards us. And just click OK. That puts it there. Now, what I'm going to do now is just kind of blur that a little bit. So I'm just going to go right up to filter, and I'm going to come down and get to my blur and my Gaussian blur, and just throw some blur over top of that lens flare just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. And where it was set up is fine. Just going to leave it there. So now what we need to do is get the lens flare to show up on our other picture instead of the black screen. And we're going to do that just by changing the blend mode of that layer to screen. And somewhere on here is screen.
It's halfway down.
There it is.
Oh, wait, there it is.
So now you see we have a white dot in here. I'm going to grab my move tool and just grab that and move it. You see how we can move it around wherever we want. I'm going to put it right about there, just kind of off site a little bit halfway off, and leave it right there for now. Because what we want is to see some light coming in from that direction to get into this space in the light there. So now we have it. We have white light. We need to put some color in that light. So we're going to select the layer 1, which it's already selected. And that's our light flare that we just made. And we're going to add a hue and saturation adjustment layer to that. So again, we go down to our half circle down there, and we go hue and saturation. Now I've got some specific numbers that we're going to put in here. First off, we're going to make this a clipping thing. So we're going to clip it to the layer just below it, so it doesn't affect anything else below that. It's only going to work with just that layer 1 there, the flare. We're going to click on this one that says colorize, like that. And then we're going to set the saturation to 70. We'll run up, now let's just do 7, type it in. And we're going to set the hue to somewhere between 30 and 40. So let's just run it up until we get in that, well, I went way past there. Somewhere between 30 and 40, you can see we're starting to get that yellow color. That looks pretty good, 37. Now we've taken that light, we've added it in there, and we've got it the right color to match her face. Is basically all we was trying to do at that point. So now we're just going to do a little bit of color correction to the whole photograph. Sorry, I heard a ding. I want to make sure it wasn't someone trying to get in. No, it's not. So we're going to add an adjustment layer. Again, only this time we're going to do selective color. And in here we have the options of working with different particular colors. We're going to work with neutrals first, and then we're going to work with blacks. So our neutrals, we're going to take our cyan and make that a -8. Just pull some of that cyan out, and then we're going to go into yellow and make that around a 4 or 5 positive. So we'll go with 4. Our colors changing now in there. And if we go into our blacks at this point, we're going to take and just kind of back down our blacks a little bit to like a -7, work out pretty good. And it kind of softens the blacks up and gives you that little bit of a airy look to the picture. There you go. How was that?
Pretty cool.
So at this point, you can go back and, like, I'm looking at her and she looks a little bit small for the picture at this point. I think she should be a little bit bigger. So let's go over to our stuff over here. And we remember the swimmer was in group. So if we go over and click on the group, now we're using that layer. If you do a Control or Command T, that brings up our box. That's a transform box. Hold that Shift key down and we can change her size again. So we can adjust her and it keeps all of our stuff that we worked on. I think that's a little bit better. She's a little bit more prominent in the picture, maybe just a hair bigger. Check mark there. And I think our lens flare might need to be a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to go and click on that layer 1. And same thing, Control or Command T. That gives me a box that I can work with. And let's increase the size of that lens flare and just kind of bring it here. That's a little bit better, I think. Right about there. There you go.
So Brian, I've got a comment. This has nothing to do with the techniques, but as far as the composite to make it look, if you will, more realistic, is I think the water that she's coming out in the middle of the road needs to extend just slightly behind her.
You know, I was just looking at that, and I think you're right. Let me see. How did I do it before? Yeah, when I did it before, it's a little bit more behind her, if you see here. See what I mean, Jim?
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, you're right. You put a little bit in here. We went into there, went to a brush, layer mask.
There we go. Yes.
How's that?
That's much better. Thank you.
Anything for you, Jim. So that's a technique for doing a composite. It was definitely way more involved than my old way of doing composites, which is basically just throwing two pictures on top of each other and hoping the edges blend out pretty good. This was way better. So I'm learning with this. I like this. This is a tutorial on YouTube. It's where I found it at. It's where I got the pictures from. So if you do a search on YouTube for making a composite with Photoshop, you'll see this picture. And you can follow him. He's a little hard to understand. He's not, he doesn't speak real great English, but I was able to go through and follow him along and make the process happen 2 or 3 times before I decided this was good enough for us to show tonight.
What's the guy's name for the YouTube video?
I don't know. I just told you how to find it.
Oh, Brian, for the mask, when you see the mask box on, I don't know what layer you want to choose, but if you want to change it to be like all black instead of it being white, you can do a Control-I for Windows and Command-I to invert it
Right.
to be in black.
That'll invert the mask, yes.
Yes.
Yep. How to creatively blend 2 images in Photoshop tutorial. And it's by Photoshop Tutorials and Photo Effects is the YouTube channel that does this.
Thank you.
That's where I got it from. And I think my picture come out just about as good as his did.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Reminds me of a couple of potholes in Pittsburgh.
So I was pretty happy with that. I thought that was a pretty good one. And while I got this screen up, I'm actually going to show you this. We were talking about this about lightning strike. This is the one that I was thinking of. It's called a Myops camera trigger. This one's specific for Nikon, but they make other ones. Oh, sorry. And it has what's called a lightning, laser, and sound trigger mode. So it will work when it picks lightning up, it'll fire the camera. If you set it to sound in a loud sound or whatever, it picks that up, it'll fire the camera. And it also can fire the camera based on a laser going across it. So I thought it was 150 bucks. It's 220 bucks. This one, I've read a bunch of reviews on it. It's pretty, I've always wanted it. I think it's one of the decent ones to buy. So if anybody was interested in doing that, here's the item that you need.
Here, I'm going to add it to your cart, Brian.
Go ahead, click on it. Click on it. I can click on it. You can't click on it.
Can you just email me that?
Email you this? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can email me that too.
Yeah, I'll email it to you. How about if I put it in the chat group? Or I can email it to you. Anyhow, that was the one I was thinking of when we were talking about that earlier. Okay, any questions about the Photoshop thing?
I think you did a good job.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Did a nice job.
Brian, part of the steps in there was to do blending on certain layers. Are you going to cover blending in the Photoshop class at all?
We have not, but we will, yes.
Okay, I'd appreciate it.
Yep, we'll take a look at that. Okay, I'm going to stop my sharing at this point, and we're back. Hey, Beth, I seen that Alan was trying to get in. I approved him, but it wouldn't connect for him. You're muted, Beth. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted because my shepherd was panicking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he popped in a little while ago, and I clicked on him to let him in, but it would not connect. So, you know, I don't know if it was an issue on his end or what, but it wasn't allowing him to connect.
Okay.
I put the link to that item in the chat thing there, and Margie, I'll email that out to you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, anybody else got anything they want to talk about? Got a few more minutes.
You know, Fred has got all of his Nikon and Nikon lenses up for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's trying to get enough money to get a Sony mirrorless. It's got some pretty nice lens.
Is that Fred?
Fred, yeah. You can just call him and he can go ahead and tell you what he has. And
See a night corner.
He's a night corner.
Oh, well then.
I heard that Fred's dog passed away.
yeah, he had internal bleeding. He was young too.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. He was only a couple years old.
No, he's a little bit older than that, I would say, because he had him before we went to Texas, and that was 5 years. So I'd say he's about 7.
Oh, has it been that long? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Hey, it finally started raining here, and it's actually starting to cool down in my house. The first time this summer.
Well, it already passed through here, so.
Yeah, same with here. Thank goodness my dog went crazy. That's the reason I was late getting on.
At least when yours jump in your lap, they're not 80 pounds.
No.
All right, guys. Any questions about anything other, any of the things that are going on, anything that's coming up, picnic, anything like that? Any suggestions on the picnic thing before the officers meet after this meeting?
We're meeting after this meeting?
Yeah, we're just going to hang on for a few minutes and have that. It's only going to take a few minutes to talk about this.
Okay, glad to know that.
Well, if you have more time.
Well, if Sky wasn't going crazy, I would have been there.
Blame my buddy Trixie.
No.
Sky.
It's Sky. The one that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can blame her.
My buddy Sky.
So Brian, as far as September activities go, we talked about the picnic, the photo walk. I think it was a Pittsburgh street walk maybe for September. And has there been any discussions whether we might do that or not?
No, we haven't really talked about it.
I thought we said we were staying away from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think we did kind of decide that a while back, and you know, at the point that where we can't get people to join us in an outdoor setting in Westmoreland County very easily. I don't know that we can get people to join us in an outdoor setting in Allegheny County at this point.
Yeah.
I'm attempting to find a newsletter in my file system here, which is not the.
I'm looking. Have it.
It was Saturday, September the 19th, the Mexican War Streets and Randyland.
Yeah, I mean, what Mexican War Streets, that's just houses, that's open, there's no problem. I don't know if Randyland is even open.
I don't have any idea.
I think I took it out.
Yeah, actually, we did take it, Marty, you did take it out of the newsletter. I'm looking at it now. We've removed it already.
Yeah, Randy Land's open from 10 to 6
Okay.
every day.
But
Put it back in, but
yeah, I think that let's work on the picnic at this point. Let's see if we can get people to the picnic. And then kind of go from there.
Alrighty.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I do. I have one.
Any
Yes.
other questions or comments?
I have a question.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, if I can only reach through this computer screen. You know, the MSI I've got, I went to shut it, nothing caught it. And then I went to open it back up, nothing there. And my monitor disconnected on one side from my keyboard. Like it disconnected to the point that it broke.
Oh, you mean the plastic hinge?
Mm-hmm. Is DL around? DL.
I don't think DL's on here anymore.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
This is-
No,
He's going, oh no, there he is. Yeah.
DL, can I get a new hinge put on? I mean, or a new
Possible.
plastic, whatever I need. What do I need?
You need to send it to someone who can do that for you.
Oh yeah, that'd be $200.
Maybe for the part.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding.
It would
I'll get some
possibly
super glue.
need to have the monitor replaced.
Monitor works good. It's just
Well,
the,
I understand that, but to fix the part, it may be one of them where, you know, to fix this, they got to replace the whole thing to put it on there.
oh no, I'll super glue it.
That'd have been my option.
Huh?
I said, that would have been my option. I'd have glued it already.
Yeah. Well, I had to check to see when my warranty was out, and it's out. It was out this year in March, I think. So it's okay.
claim COVID.
Do what?
I said claim COVID-19 and maybe they'll fix it for you.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I just keep it open. You know, I don't mess with it. Well, you guys, that was real good advice there. Thank you.
You said West Virginia
Some-
Pro.
Get some popsicle sticks and glue them on there and just keep it open all the time and forget about it.
That's it.
Hey, it doesn't hurt to email MSI and ask them what that cost in repair. Send them some
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
I would do that before you put super glue on it, though.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe they would extend your warranty because of the
COVID.
virus.
That would be nice. Well, it's worth a try. I'll go ahead and contact them and see what they have to say.
Hey guys, just a reminder, we do have a show in November. Correct, Annie?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so keep that in mind. We're close. We're quickly approaching November. So
Show where?
it's Heather's down in
Irwin.
Heather's is Irwin.
We were there before?
Yes.
Yeah, where we went last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got to get a hold of Tracy. And as far as I know, like I said, I've been down past her place, and she's had her gallery's been full. So she's got shows been going on. She's got people hanging in there.
She's selling anything?
Yeah, she does actually. She sells quite a few things in there for whenever she has the shows up. I think we have one or two sold in there last year, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we had a couple pieces that sold from our club last year when we had the show. November is a good month for Irwin because they have a ladies' night, which is all the places are open, and they have specials going on to draw the women into each of the shops. And they have quite a few activities in Irwin in November. So it's right before Christmas, Thanksgiving. So
Are they going to have all those activities this year?
What's that?
Yeah, but are they going to have all those activities this year in Erin?
I don't know. Good question. I mean,
even Latrobe can have the banana split. It's going to be reality on that.
Yeah, well,
you ever eaten a banana split? Reality? It's not as tasty.
Virtual eating a virtual
Virtual reality.
A virtual banana split.
Yeah,
That wouldn't taste very
banana
good.
split in reality would be pretty good.
Oh yeah, you're right. Virtual.
Well, as far as Irwin goes, they've been having community events in downtown Irwin.
Yeah, they have been.
So they may have canceled some, but they are having some as well.
Yeah.
It's really, never mind, I'm gonna shut up. I changed my mind, I'll shut up. Well, anyhow, I just wanted to remind everybody, we got a show coming up, so kind of keep that in mind. We also have a meeting coming up in August. What month are we in now?
August.
September. We're talking about high and low key photography and post-processing techniques. The one I wanted to mention is the one in October was scheduled to be a flower scavenger hunt that would take place prior to the meeting, and then we would show your best 3 shots of flowers.
In October?
In October, that's what we have it scheduled.
Oh my.
So, with that being said, if we're gonna do a flower scavenger hunt, y'all most likely would like to have the scavenger hunt like tomorrow. So you have some time to start looking for that.
Yeah, a lot of the flowers are already, through their season.
Right. Or we just want to make it it's a flower show, and we're going to show your best 3 photos that night. So you can go find whatever flowers you want at this point, since they're going to be, if I go find a trillium, you ain't going to find one right now.
No, that would be spring of next year.
What do you guys think about that? Would you like to do that as a?
Sure.
That's what our meeting was supposed to be. It was supposed to be about flower photography and showing 3 pictures from each person that wanted to participate. You guys want to do that?
Sure.
Yeah. Are you altering the timing? Is that what you're saying, Brian?
No, I'm not. That'll still be the October meeting.
Oh my, yeah.
But for photos taken from now going forward, or?
Photos taken, we'll say this year.
This year.
Okay, that's great.
Because, like I said, I can't. Flowers are going away at this point in the year, and it's been a horrible year for water and all that kind of stuff. So, no, we'll say any flower taken this year has to have been taken during the year of hell and brimstone. And we'll show your best 3, no more than 3. I'll set up a tag on Reddit, that way you can post underneath that tag. And if we follow Jim's example and do your 3 photos in a single post.
Yeah.
That way it'll make it quicker for us to go through for each one and find the 3 photos.
Good.
Okay.
That sound good?
When will it be due?
Huh?
When? October, at our October meeting?
Our October meeting is when we're going to look at them. So it has to be
a monthly.
They have to be on there by, October 12th. Is the date.
Okay.
Okay. So we got that under control.
Yep.
All right.
Everything but Margie.
I've got it. Annie, I'll remind you though.
You usually do.
All right. I'm just kind of looking through our newsletter at some things that we got going on. October, we're working on a Fright Night photography thing. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. I've got a few suggestions from a few people so far. I'm just not sure how we can do this, but I really would like to do that this year. So we'll work on that.
Brian, in the paper this week, there was an article, and I forget the organization, but they do one of those Fright Nights in Pittsburgh. I think it's the Aetna organization.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving up to Pittsburgh Mills for the fall.
Yeah, that's Scare House.
Okay.
Yeah, Beth sent that to me already.
Oh, all right.
I'm actually going to call someone that I used to work with a while back that was very big into Scare House and worked for them for I don't know how many years. So I'm going to reach out to her if I can get a hold of her and see if she's still working with them or for them, or if she can give us any insight as to whether or not we can go there and do photos or not. Scare House is a pretty big thing though. So we'll see if it's possible.
We got an abandoned house in town. I just saw today. Y'all can just decorate that thing up, and when these little baby kids come by, you can scare the crap out of them.
That would be a good frightening, at least for them. Anyhow, we'll be working on that and try to figure out what we're going to do for that. All right. Well, that brings us just about to the end of the night. If anyone else has any ideas, suggestions, comments, concerns, speak now or hold your peace until the next time we talk.
Nope, I'm good.
All good? All right. Well, I thank all of you for participating tonight and hanging out, and I hope you enjoyed the meeting. And I guess we can go ahead and call the regular meeting, and officers just hang on here for me, and we'll talk about the picnic real quick, and that way we can get some information together for that.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ryan.
everybody.
Good night.
Thanks,
Good night.
Brian.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Okay. Officer here. Let me stop recording. We don't need to record this part.